So, hey, Minimal fam, this is our first live stream, and we're really excited to spend some time with you guys for you guys to get to know us a little bit better, and then we're going to share some personal stuff here and stuff about minimalism and what's kind of new with our family. So, yeah, so we have some things to share, but we want to make sure that we can interact with you guys and answer any questions that you might have for us, for Carlene, for me. So just go ahead and comment away, and we'll make sure to say hi and answer as many questions as we can. So just comment them below. So let's jump into the first thing that we wanted to share with you guys. As you guys might know, we have 3 kids, and we just had our third in October. So he's 6 months now, and that is it's a new journey for us, going from 2 to 3 kids. So we're just going to talk a little bit right now about how we've adjusted to having 3 kids. So we've had Legend in a couple of our videos, but we really haven't talked much about how we've been dealing with that transition from 2 to 3 and how that's really impacted our minimalism journey. Because as you know, you'll need more and more things here and there, and that's how it is for a baby. So you want to talk about your side and how you feel like we've adjusted
From going
from 2 to 3?
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Easier than having our first. 2 to 3 wasn't as bad of a jump, I think.
No?
As far as like just the babies or as far as minimalism?
Well, just as far as like the babies.
Life. Well, having our first was harder because it's like you have no idea what you're doing. And then going from 1 to 2 was kind of like, I got this. And then once we felt like we had it under control, then we had another one. So now it feels like a little bit, we're outnumbered, so it's kind of chaotic. But it's been good. I feel like at this point we're kind of pros, but not really. And then as far as minimalism goes, this time around, I wouldn't say it's been more challenging with 3, but I'm noticing, because we're in a pretty small space for 5 of us, I feel, because we're in an apartment. Legends baby items are really big.
Yeah.
Like they take up so much space, and it's not even that there's a lot of them. It's just like, why is a baby bouncer so big? Why is everything so big?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still pretty minimal, just larger.
Yeah. Well, at least from my side, I'll share a little story of like, I don't know, how I see it. So going from 2 to 3, I've always wanted a big family, and Carlene and I would always talk about how we wanted, a lot of kids, and I really felt like we were gonna have a big family. But when we first got married, I didn't really want to just jump into having kids. I kind of wanted to wait until I was 30, and but Carlene found out that she had PCOS, and the chances for her to have a baby would just get smaller and smaller as the years would go on. And they even told her that it might be very slim that you would even have kids.
Yeah.
And immediately that really rocked us. I remember you telling me and crying to me, to be honest, how you wanted to start early, and if I would consider changing my mind. And at the moment I just said yes. I mean, even though it was 5 years earlier than I had originally wanted, I knew that we needed to try now, or there might be a point where we just would never have any kids. And so we started trying, and I was expecting us to struggle to get pregnant for months, maybe even years. And we were really preparing ourselves to like not have any luck, and for some time, like just preparing how we would basically manage our emotions each month that would go by, and we would see not pregnant on the pregnancy stick. So, well, the first month we tried, Carlene got pregnant. So that
Hopefully people tuning in right now don't think this is like a pregnancy announcement.
No, this is not a pregnancy announcement. No. So we had Mila, and that was awesome. And then Zion was a surprise. I remember us driving to, we were driving right after, this was a time, guys, I think I shared with you all, this was a time where Carlene had just quit her job. And she said, I can't do this anymore. I really want to just be at home with Mila. And I was like, all right, just quit. And I had no idea what to do next. At the time, I was taking care of Mila at home, and I was working part-time at a church, which was just enough to like maybe get some groceries and maybe get some things. And we took that leap of faith and said,
You
okay.
were a stay-at-home dad.
I was I was a house dad, yes. And so I went ahead and did that. And we were driving, and I remember you saying, I have some acid reflux. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
hold on. Because that is when, last time when she found out she was pregnant with Mila, she had this terrible acid reflux. And she's never struggled with acid reflux her entire life, ever. And you said, I have acid reflux. And I looked at you and I was like, you're probably pregnant. And you're like, there's no way. There's no way. She said, there's no way I'm pregnant. So she buys a pregnancy test. We go and hang out at my grandma's house, and she decides to take the pregnancy test. And she comes out and she says, are you ready for round two? I could not believe it. I was like, you just quit your job and we just had this baby. We just had Mila. She was like 9 months old. But as you guys know,
A comment just came out and says she tricked you.
she did, yes.
No.
But yeah, so we had Zion, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 years later, Legend was a surprise too. We did not think that she was pregnant at all. We were actually at a conference when we found out.
No, right, yeah, that week.
We were at a conference, and it was a month before coronavirus hit. And so we were at my conference, and we went to see her dad. And you just guess how we kind of thought. She sat there in the back porch drinking some coffee, and she said, I have acid reflux. And I said, you're pregnant. I know you're pregnant. I knew it. I just felt it deep inside my bones. And she was so sure that she was not pregnant. And then I went and got a pregnancy test. She peed on a stick. Round 3. That is when we found out Legend. So a month after that, coronavirus hit. But just to go back to the original question, the jump has been interesting. When we brought Legend home, I felt okay about the transition. Obviously, this wasn't our first rodeo, and we knew what to expect. But we wanted to really try and enjoy this stage because, this was our last baby.
Yeah.
And
well, that someone just asked, would we consider adopting?
I think we've talked about it, and I think we have said we would consider adopting. But I don't know. I don't know what this next season.
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, I want to just say, like, yes, I would adopt because I've always wanted 4 kids. And my family's big on that. Like, there have been, like, adoptions and foster care in my family. My dad currently is a foster parent. He's been doing it for a very long time. My grandparents are currently foster parents. So that's another route we could go in. So I've experienced it firsthand because I lived with my dad until I got married. And I lived in the house with foster kids. So I don't know. I want to say yes, absolutely I would. But we've had this conversation. And we have to just be on the same page. Yeah. So I think it's something that we need to really, like, take time to think about, pray about, make sure, like, But yeah, I want to. So to make a, long story short, I do want to. Because I've always felt like 4 was my number. And I can't have any more kids. I mean, I can physically have more kids. But I hemorrhaged after my first 2 deliveries. Like, right after I gave birth, I hemorrhaged. And that was really scary and, like, traumatic. And even my midwife, like, after I had my 3rd, she was like, just leave and end this on a high note because it's, it's dangerous. I mean, giving birth period is dangerous, but when you have that history of hemorrhaging, it's a little more of a risk because, I had to get treated for hemorrhage after the baby I just had. So, just to be prepared. So anywho, we made the decision that I need to be here alive for the 3 kids that I have. and having a baby is not.
I couldn't do it without you.
Having another baby is not gonna happen because
I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
it's the safer option for us.
Yeah. Well, if you're just tuning in, thank you guys for being here with us again. Go ahead and comment if you have any questions for us, or if you just want to say hi, and we'll say hi back. But we're just talking about, again, how we've adjusted to having 3 kids, going from 2 to 3. And as I was mentioning about Legend, you know, oddly enough, we've had the most curveballs with him. Like, I was so sure that we knew exactly how to handle this and it was going to be super easy. And he has had things happen to him that none of our kids have ever happened
Yeah,
to.
that's true. That's true.
We would sit there and like, how did this happen? So one of the things that I remember us like dealing with was he could not poop. Like, it was so weird. Like, he was constipated.
I'm sure they want to know.
Well, maybe. I don't know if maybe you guys have dealt with it if you've had kids. Like, maybe your kid just couldn't go to the bathroom. And then we had to change formulas. And then the opposite happened. And then he had the worst rash we've ever seen in any of our kids. It was really sad to see. And then I sleep trained all of our kids. And I was really sure that this was going to be super easy, and I had no problems with the other 2 kids. And he was already sleeping pretty good before we transitioned him to his room. But then we started sleep training him, and he's just had the hardest time sleep training. But finally it's done, and he's good. And then one of the scariest things for Carlene was one day we were about to go to the park.
Like, what's happening?
We were about to go to the park, and
Yeah.
we noticed that, or was it you that noticed? You looked at his toes, and it looked like this ring around his toe, and I just thought it was just like a roll on his toe, like he just had chubby toes. And we look, and it looks like something is deep inside of his toe, and we realized it was a hair tourniquet. Like his toe was like
literally about to come off.
It was weird. It was nothing I've seen before.
There's this thing, I mean, 3rd baby, we didn't know about it. Like, I have really long hair and it comes off like a lot. And one of my hairs was wrapped around 2 of his toes so tightly that it was cutting off circulation, and it was starting to basically separate the toe. So like the tips of his toes, like below the nail. So like a big piece of his toe was about to fall off. And it was really scary, and I called the doctor, and she called me like multiple times.
Yeah, and she's never really like
yeah, no, she's a calm
concerned.
doctor. We love her. She's a friend of ours. But she called us, and she was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, no, she didn't tell me it was pretty bad until she saw you after.
Yeah, it was interesting because you called, and then she again, she never really calls back. She's never really concerned. She actually just texts us back like, "Oh, he's good," or he's fine. And she called, and we spent like 30 minutes just soaking his toe in water, trying to get the hair out, and that didn't really work. And then we just kept trying. We would like just keep spreading his toe, like trying to get this thing out. And then he starts crying. I'm like, "Are you crying because you don't like that I'm doing this? Or are
Who
you
was crying, me or him?"
Well, both. But
True.
I was wondering, are you crying, the baby, because it's uncomfortable, or are you crying because it actually hurts? And anyways, we finally got it off, but it still kind of looked like his toe was like
about to fall off. Yeah.
Separated.
And today at his 6-month appointment, the doctor checked his toe, and she's like, "No more hair tourniquets." And then I was just like.
And then she finally confessed to us, like, that was the worst toe tourniquet I've ever seen. She's like, "I was concerned that you might have to go to the hospital and they'd have to like do surgery." And I was like, okay. Anyways, so that happened, and then he got sick, like not even 2 weeks ago, guys.
Yeah,
It was really weird. He got sick, and his it's funny because he was laying in bed, and I was like, I was like, he doesn't look like normal. Like, he looks a little off. He was a little flush. I was like, I'm sure he's sick. A day later, he has a fever, and we check, and it's 104. And that's probably one of the highest we've seen in any of our kids.
Yeah.
It was 104.2 or something, and he was like I was like, how are you like not freaking out right now, baby? Like,
Yeah.
you, both you and the baby. Um, but it lasted for like a good 3 days. It kept going up and down, and we thought like, okay, maybe he's like fighting something. Then we thought maybe he has COVID. Like we were worried about that, but we hadn't been exposed to anybody. And then he got tested. I had to take him. That was sad. They tested him both for the flu and COVID, and then they were worried about maybe it's his kidneys, maybe he has a kidney infection. And so of course I didn't tell Carlene because that's the last thing that I need to tell Carlene. Like, oh, he might have a kidney infection. So when I went to the doctor's office, um, I never call Carlene while I'm there because I know that if I call her while they're doing all this stuff, that she'll freak out. Like she will not be happy. Like she will be worried and stressed out. So I just like that was like the longest doctor's appointment. It was like 2 hours, and they checked everything. They said he's not fighting an infection, which was great. But um, anyways, he ended up having a fever for like 4 days at 104. And we did everything we could. We gave him ibuprofen, Tylenol. We put ice packs on him to try to cool him down,
Mm-hmm.
and it like never broke. And just
Yeah.
finally it did. So
Yeah.
that was one of the weirdest things we've been through with like a baby. Like we've never had that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's given us a run for our money for sure.
But when it comes to like minimalism for having 3 kids, we really wanted to be as minimal as possible with this baby. And what we learned over having 2 kids is like we learned what we might need, what we would need. But even with this baby, it wasn't as clear. We still had moments where you're like, should we get this? Do you think we still need this?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't know if you wanted to share
A
about.
swing. We had a big Fisher Price swing for the 2 other kids. And I mean, like I said, or he said, our second and third babies were like surprises pretty much. But we donated, what did we do with that swing? I don't know, but we got rid of the swing because, we didn't have like baby number 3 on our mind. And I was like, let's just do without it because someone gave us like a secondhand Mama Roo swing. But yeah, that didn't work out for us. So we ordered the swing.
Yeah.
Which takes up a whole lot of space. But anyways, we were just kind of like waiting to see what the baby actually needed. And I want to say we didn't buy him any like clothes or anything. Like we basically were just given stuff. So each kid we've gotten more and more minimal. And we just kind of wait. Like when he was a newborn, we weren't buying things for when he was 6 months or a year. When you plan ahead because you see something cute, like we haven't done that at all. We literally have nothing. Like we just sized him up in diapers, and then the diapers that don't fit him anymore can go, and then the clothes. Every time he grows out of a certain size, I just give it to my sister because she has a baby that's a few months younger than him. So we're just being intentional with as soon as he's grown out of something, we just get it out the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one for us because if we just keep it around, all of that will accumulate. And with 3 kids, we have to constantly be on top of it. I just went through and decluttered the kids' room. I made a video, but I haven't actually shared it yet. I was going to make like a reel or TikTok of it to show you guys the process of how I went through all of their clothes and how I decided what to keep and what not to keep. So I'll post that like tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Presents. Yeah, so that's baby number 3 in minimalism, and everything happens like in a blink of an eye. So like the last thing we want to do is just have like a jungle of baby stuff all over the place, and we have to find a way to get rid of it. Because that's why we started this minimalism journey, because
Yeah.
Mila's bedroom was just a nightmare. We walked in and we just couldn't find anything. Stuff was everywhere. And when you're having kids, you hear a lot from people like, hey, you need this, you need to have that. And then you think to yourself like, what if, like that phrase, what if happens so much. So
Realistically, you don't need that much for kids.
you really don't.
Yeah.
Contrary to what many people might say, and especially nowadays, because there's always so many new things that are coming out, new ways to take care of a baby, new ways to do the new technology, whatever, and it's like pretty interesting once you have one or two and you like do a little bit less with the next one and do a little bit less and you're like, well, the baby's happy and the baby's fine. And
Someone's like, what if always gets me?
yeah, Stephanie said, what if always gets me? And I think that's something that a lot of us struggle with, even though I'm the dad and I definitely don't think like her. Like, I don't think about things the same as she does when it comes to like the kids stuff. She's always very mindful of like what they might need next. And, you know, she's the one initiating like, hey, we need to get this for the kids or whatever. And I'm just like, I just trying to figure out what I'm going to eat tonight. And so
Moms are like the nurturers and they're always thinking about everyone else. And the dads are kind of like,
play with the kids.
Whatever's in their face is what they are worried about.
Yeah. But I would say I'm pretty proud of myself. Like when it comes to like the kids, I'm like I knock those things out with them.
Yeah, you're a great dad. You're very involved.
Oh,
There was like
stop
a
it.
big thing.
Let's see. I'll read this comment and then we'll keep moving. Bambi said, minimalism with kids is always an ongoing process. My 12-year-old is having the craziest growth spurts and I'm always feeling like I'm getting rid of stuff. And that's kind of like the same as when you have a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, that's like preteen. They grow really quick, hitting puberty. Like, everything's changing in babies as well. So it's like we're constantly having to like be on top of it. So for us, what we were saying was that as soon as the baby outgrows a certain size, like he just did, we literally put it in a box and mailed it to my sister because she has a baby that's younger. And then also Mila, our daughter, she's just so tall. Like she just keeps outgrowing things so quickly. Okay. And so we're constantly having to do that because if I don't go through her closet, I mean, I used to go through like every month, but then she wasn't growing as fast anymore and whatnot. So now I do it like every couple months, but I have to go through and make sure like all of those things that size are gone. Or even like socks and things like that. Like I stay on top of it because I don't want to get back to the point where we were before where it's like chaotic. Mm-hmm. So just kind of doing like maintenance check-ins like every couple months. And yeah.
Yeah. One other thing that we wanted to share with you guys, and just I think we mentioned it in one of the video where we broke down the kids' play yard, is we are moving soon and we are trying to think through how much space we will need. So there was a time when we were like very challenged. We wanted to live in the smallest space possible to kind of like, I don't know, challenge ourselves and be as minimal as possible. And we were really excited about that. And we moved to this place because it had no upstairs, because we did not like upstairs in our townhouse. So we moved here, and it's nice because you have this close quarters. So we're always like around kids. We're always like, it just felt like everything is happening in the center of the house. But now, almost two years later, it's a lot. So we almost feel like now we are challenged so much to the point that we don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, no. At one point, so we lived in a 2-bedroom townhouse, but it was very spacious. Like the bedrooms were double the size of these, I feel. But then the stairs were an issue, so we decided to move and find something that was a better layout. And so we found this apartment that had 3 bedrooms versus 2, but there's still less room in this apartment than there was in our 2-bedroom townhouse. And the townhouse had like a little courtyard, but our kids were so little when we moved here that we did. Oh, and there was like snakes and stuff like in the courtyard. No, it was not like we could let the kids just play there. It was not a good situation. So then we moved here, no yard, nothing. And at first the layout was all we cared about, but then as we lived here for a few months and then we had Legend, we realized like we are on top of each other. There's nowhere to go. There's not enough space. And a year ago, right before the pandemic started, I wanted to live in an RV. Yeah. And I'm like very seriously, like I was like, let's do this. This will be such an adventure. We'll live in an RV. Like we won't have a lot of space, but you know, we want to be outdoors. We want to go do things. But then realistically with kids, even if you take them out every single day, even if you have somewhere for them to run, when you're home, you still need your own space. And also kids are going to grow. They need their privacy. We need our privacy. So I mean, that's one huge thing that happened in the pandemic, because had that not happened and we not had to spend so much time at home again, what if we would have bought an RV? We would have regretted it. I would have definitely regretted it. But then I would have been like, we have to stay in here, because that was like a huge financial decision. So anyways, we have realized this year that we need a bigger space. So we're going to move out of here soon. I think like in September, August, September. And we're going to find something like much bigger. And by much bigger, like probably a house, 4 bedrooms and a garage and a big yard, something like that. Because we need to all be able to go to our spaces.
Yeah.
And
And we're still like very minimal. And
Oh, yeah.
we talk about this, like, are we missing something? Do we have too much stuff? And we constantly go back, and then we like, it's not that we have too much stuff. It's that we just have no room. And there's
Yeah.
so much going on in such a small space. And you know, with kids, you need to have things like a bike, and
Yeah.
we can't store anything outside. So
Yeah, well, that's a
everything.
big thing in the minimalist community, where people will tell you you don't have like a space situation, you have like a too much stuff situation. So like I've heard that being said, like you need to declutter and then you'll have space. But no, truly, there are some places where you just literally don't have space. Like there are reasons that it's not always a stuff situation or a stuff problem. Like you were saying, the bikes. The HOA doesn't allow bikes outside. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's
But
weird.
you will get a fine. Like we got a letter that said if you break these rules, you're gonna get fined $1,000. It was like something crazy. And the bikes have to come inside, and they have to be in my workout room, which takes up space. But yeah, so that's another thing. And we didn't know the HOA rules until we already were locked into this place.
Yeah, it
They
was
seemed
weird.
really, yeah, it was strange.
It was weird.
So
We
moved-
felt really good when we moved in. We were like,
I know.
this is a hidden gem. Like, we don't understand why it's so amazing. And then
why was this place empty for so many months? This
Yeah.
is amazing.
And
And
then
then
we
we
get the
moved in, we're
keys.
like, oh,
yeah.
we get it now.
Yeah, we actually had our car towed the first week that we moved in, because they couldn't see the sticker on our van.
Yeah, his fault though, because he was like, I want the darkest tint for your van. If I'm gonna ride in a minivan, it needs to be cool looking, because I'm a cool dad. You know that you were saying things like that, like I want it to be cool. I want it to be so dark no one can see me driving it. Like
Yeah. I think I shared in one of the someone asked a question, how did you decide that you didn't have enough room versus just not having too much? Yeah. Let's see. Sorry.
Well, that's
Because she said, in a similar situation, but we do have some work to do and want to have an idea what to look for in the future. So how do you decide between not having enough room and just not having?
Well, okay, so for me, the reason why we're moving out of this place specifically is we have 3 kids, and they're all in like different phases right now. So we have he's not really newborn, he's 6 months. I don't know if that just makes him an infant, I guess, right? And then we have a toddler, and then someone just told me that Mila is not a toddler, she's a preschooler. Like, is that right? Like, I never heard that until she said that, and then I was like, no, that makes my baby sound older. But anyways, so they all have like kind of different schedules. My daughter has like a speech thing that she goes to every day for a couple hours. So anyways, I feel like, and my husband, he works from home. So right now, because of the lack of space, he has the desk in the room, so he works from our bedroom. And then our baby is in a separate room, and that's where I have my workout stuff. So like our nursery is like nursery / all of my workout equipment. Have we ever shared that on YouTube? Like any? Yeah, we did. Okay.
In the
we
home
have.
tour, yeah.
Yeah, so that room has the bikes, because the HOA doesn't allow them outside. That has all of his music equipment and everything that we use for YouTube. And then it has, did I say crib, and then my workout stuff. So that room is just chaotic. It's like playing Tetris with everything. And then the kids' room is fine. My 2 older share a room. But they're kind of on different schedules. Like my daughter, she goes to school in the morning. So we kind of want to separate them when we move. So the 2 boys will share a room because they're more on the same pattern, and they both nap during the day. And then my daughter, I'm just rambling, but my
No.
daughter, I want to separate my daughter and my son, and then he needs a space where he can work and fully focus. I mean, he's alone in the room and everything, but I don't really come in here. Even if I need to do something in here, I try not to interrupt him. So it can be kind of hard during the day. So I feel like he needs like an office space. And then the kids definitely need a space to run and play. When we moved in here, that was not on my mind, and there's no yard or anything. There's no area for them to play. So yeah. And as far as like stuff, I mean, we have empty cabinets. We have tons of space here as far as like where to store items. So it's not really that. It's more like 5 people, small apartment. We all need to have our own designated areas to go to.
I think it's also the way that the home functions. Like she said, I'm working at home. Some people probably aren't working at home.
Yeah.
They don't really need space to work in office. Some people, their kids at school most of the day, so they don't really need space for their kids to like
what
to
she
like
just
play.
said. This apartment doesn't function for us, but it's not like a space issue. Does that make sense?
I don't think it doesn't function for us. So that's why we need a little bit more space. And we always say, you need minimalism to work for you and not the other way around. And it's like, minimalism isn't a one size fits all. You could watch a Joshua Becker or a Minimal Mom or Matt
The
Diavella.
Minimalist.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
Everything is different. It's always different. And it's like, it's more exciting when it's different because it's just, you make it work for you. And so you get to see a new perspective, and maybe you get boxed in because you think that it's supposed to be one way for a long time. And then finally you're like, oh, they didn't really have to do it like that. And it gives you the permission, like, I don't have to be like them too. The other, everyone else. But,
well, I'm excited to take the same amount of stuff we have now and put it in a bigger area. It's going to feel even more like peaceful.
Yeah.
And so much more open space.
Mm-hmm. And we usually, we go through, there will be times where I'll walk through the house and I'm like, we need to get rid of stuff.
I know. All the time.
All the time.
All the time. I used to be, I was the minimalist first, if you have like been following us for a while. And he was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to live out this lifestyle until it becomes appealing to him. And then it did. I didn't nag him other than his trophies. I kept saying like, hey, what about these trophies? You want to get rid of them? But anyways, he became a minimalist. And when he wants to do something, he goes hard after it. And you really don't give up like on anything. Like you go hard. So years later, here we are, and now he's more minimal than me.
I've even chased you.
I know. So years later, he'll walk around and there'll be like a random coupon, and he'll be like, we need a declutter.
Yeah, I just, once you have experienced that like space and peace inside your home, when you start to get stuff and it just starts coming back in and you see it around your house, I was always just like, I know what it's like. I don't want to go back to that feeling. And it's crazy because you blink and then some stuff is back in your house, especially when you have a family. Things happen so fast. You go shopping or you go to get food and I needed this or I needed that. And
when you have kids, you get so many gifts. And that's a big thing because people ask me all the time, like, oh, what do you do about gifts from family members? And like, I don't know what to do with it. We don't want it. We don't need it. So I always say, like, obviously be kind. Thank the person, because if someone got you a gift, they definitely thought of you and like they're loving on you. Like gift giving is a love language. So you cannot be rude and say like, that's not welcome in my house. I don't want that. I'm a minimalist, whatever. Even if they know you're a minimalist and they give you a bunch of stuff, like you can still receive it and be loving and kind. And then once it's yours and you've received that item, it's yours to do whatever you want with it. So I doubt that person is going to be checking in with you every month to ask you if you still have the item. There's some mother-in-laws. I might have one and she might be on this video, I don't know. Who will actually ask about a certain item. And sometimes I do have to, or you do have to tell her that we no longer have a certain item, it has happened. I don't know if other people are like that, but
Mm-hmm.
when you receive an item, it's yours to do whatever you want with it. If something is not making your life better or easier, you can get rid of it. You can regift it. You can return it if you have the receipt. So I would say don't feel guilty, because if something is cluttering your house and you're having to deal with it, you know, it's do what's best for your house.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like publicize it. You don't have to tell the person. You can just do it free of guilt. There are also people who get like what is it called, like when you inherit something?
Inheritance.
Yes. Yes, that. Well, I thought of the word while I was talking to you. Okay, anyways, well, stop, because if I start laughing, I won't stop laughing. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the same thing goes for that. If you receive something, even if you don't have kids, it's yours to do what you want with it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you guys are like us. We struggled with the she mentioned my mom. There was a time where my mom, her, like she said, her love language, like she likes to give gifts, and she likes to get gifts. So that has been
Yeah.
an interesting journey. But she used to send a lot of stuff to us, and we would get it, and we would automatically, like, some of the stuff, like, we just don't need it, like, not in a
Yeah,
bad way, but like we just don't need it, we don't use something like that. And
that's true.
I'm just reading this. I tend to always start but get stuck, and how can I get over that issue? Like starting and then getting stuck.
I have a mess everywhere. How do I get over the issue? Okay. We keep starting something and then we're like...
That's fine, because...
But yes, this is the point. So if you're starting your minimalism journey, or you're starting like your decluttering, what I recommend, I think we've been on the same page on this. This is not how we started, but this is what we recommend to people. Start in the easiest space first. So if you're already overwhelmed and you start and then you stop, you probably just need to gain that momentum. So what's your easiest room? Is it your living room? I don't know, for us, that is the easiest space for us, because it's just a couch and a rug and a sign on the wall. So if we were going to be decluttering, we would start there, because it's super easy to look around and say, I don't need this, this, and this. Once we're completely done with the living room, we'll move on to the next easiest area, which would be, I don't know, a bathroom. Once we're completely done with the bathroom, like completely done, then we move on to the next. When you do that, you start like reaping the reward like really quickly. So you're like, my living room's done. It feels really peaceful. It feels really nice. Let me move on to the next area. And so just stay like that, where you only go to the next easiest area. Because if you don't know where to start and you tackle the hardest project first, like let's say you go straight to the garage. Most people who have a garage say that that's like their catch-all space. If you go straight there, it's going to take you a very long time. It's probably not going to take you a day. Might take you, if you are working outside the home too, maybe it takes you like every day for a couple weeks. And then you're just like, I give up. Or maybe you did the garage and now you have to do the house, but some of the stuff from the house is going to go into the garage. Then you feel like you started all over, and now you have to go back to you get what I'm saying? Like, you catch...
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, you catch my drift. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but then you were gonna like make fun of me. So, so I would say start in the easiest area first, and go from there. And then with us, when I started my like minimalism decluttering journey, I would send pictures. Actually, I would post a lot of pictures on Instagram, and friends and family, even strangers, would be like, "I want that. I want that," and I'll be like, "Come get it. You have 24 hours. And I was very serious about that. Like, I would tell people, some people got 48, but no, I would say, like, you need to come get it, because if it stays in my house for too long, it might end up back in a closet, and I can't have that. So we got rid of everything, pretty much everything, for free, because for us, taking the time, and we didn't have the space to like take pictures, list everything, sell it. So we literally just in one shot got rid of everything. So that was another big rule, like get it out the house as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So.
And some people who really live by like frugal living will say, well, you should have sold that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I think, again, it's what works for you. Can you hold that stuff there and not feel tempted to put it back? Because
Yeah.
we had at one point in our old townhouse, there was like 3 or 4 boxes of stuff, and you had different people picking up each
Oh,
box.
yeah.
And there was a time where they didn't come for like a couple days, and you said like, "Hey, we really need to get this stuff out the door." And uh, basically, there was a point where like there was something in the box that I felt like I could have used.
Oh yeah, you stare at a box for so long, or you keep walking by something that you're donating. You
Yeah.
start to think you need the item because you're looking at it constantly. And there was a time where, yes, do you know places that accept baby gear? Is Once Upon a Baby? Is that what it's called? Once Upon a Baby. It's like a baby consignment store. They'll actually pay you, I believe.
Not Bye Bye Baby.
No, not Bye Bye Baby. It's like Once Upon a Baby. Are you in Florida? I didn't see the name. I actually so I just donated a whole box of my daughter's clothes, my son's clothes, a bunch of bows and stuff. Oh, Once Upon a Child. What did I say it was called?
I don't know. Once Upon a Time. It's just a TV show.
I think it's
Well,
a TV
Tiffany
show.
said that.
I don't remember what I said.
Tiffany said that she is kind of like us. She's like, I don't really have time to post things, and too busy.
Yeah.
She's
I
put
think
outside.
if you have like a debt-free journey that you're on, then great. Do that because any little bit counts. And we're debt-free, and it's like the most amazing feeling ever. But
To that point, I think
What?
it might have been Heather. She asked if we still use You Need a Budget. We do.
yeah. And then the person who said like COVID makes it harder also, some schools will allow you to donate there, not like inside the school, but a lot of schools, at least in Palm Beach County, they have like drop-off centers. And then where was the other one? I don't know if you guys are local, but Hoffman's Chocolate, like right by there, has like a big one.
I don't know.
I don't know who's local or not.
Heather says she loves us even more that we're in Wine-Avers.
Wine-avers. Is that a word?
That's a Wine-Av thing.
You need it. Yeah. You know what? For so long, I resisted it because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not big with like technology. Like I'm really bad with it, to be honest. And I write everything.
But my grandmother, when we go to see my grandma and my aunt, every time we go and they have a problem with their phone or something, they're like, "Oh, Carlene
Carlene's
knows."
gonna do it.
Carlene knows. They look at me like, "Oh, he
Like
doesn't know."
you're
I'm
nobody.
like, yeah.
They'll like walk past him and like hand me their phone, and I just like look at it for a few minutes, and then oh yeah, and then I'll just hand it off to you because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I figure it out because I want to keep that reputation that I'm like so good at it, but I'm not. But yeah, I used to like everything paper and pen, and I've even done videos where I love to have a planner and everything, and I could never use the calendar in my phone, but then I had 3 kids, and I'm like, I need the easiest thing possible, and You Need a Budget, honestly, I thought was like the easiest thing.
Yeah, she
That
said
was
she
that
did.
Marie Kondo thing?
She said she didn't do the Marie Kondo method. She just did. I think she said just started with the closet.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Marie Kondo
Yeah,
because
we're just reading it, guys. So I just started small and didn't do the entire closet at one time. Then it doesn't create a giant mess.
Yeah, I feel that because I like her method. I think it's smart how she does it. But you have to have the time to do it that way, because if you're gonna go get every single piece of clothing from your house, let's say for example, and you're gonna throw it on your bed, like, it's just like you need to have the time to do it, or else it's gonna be a big mess. And I do like that she keeps like the sentimental and those little things for last. Yeah, I would do the same thing, like start little by little. But I do think like going room by room is a little less overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like each specific item. I don't know her specific items, like clothing. I don't know them in order.
I actually would like to like read her book.
Yeah, I read it.
I didn't read Marie Kondo's book. I read Joshua Becker's book, Minimalist Home.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't you watch Marie Kondo's show with me?
I watched a little bit, but I didn't really.
Yeah, well, she does her like whole method there, the magic of tidying up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
But-
pretty cool.
Yeah. There's so many different methods. Just have to find like what works for you.
And did you answer the question about?
What was it?
It was about like where do you give the donation? So once upon a baby,
Oh, well, someone said once upon a child.
once upon a child.
Yeah, there are a few.
Yeah.
I don't personally go there. I have people, friends, and family who have kids that are younger than my kids, so I just donate to them. But I did recently donate to like a standalone donation center that had out these like, what is it called?
Drop off.
Yeah, like a drop off box. Some of those have popped up recently, so I took things there.
Yeah. And again, if you guys are here and you have a question, just drop it and I'll try to find it as we're going.
Yeah.
It shows
Well,
up
can
on
you
the
go
screen.
back to it?
Yeah, I can go up. If you didn't,
Okay.
if you asked a question and we didn't answer it, just drop it again. Linda also asked on the post of us announcing that we're going live that she wanted to know if we're going to buy a home, and if so, is it going to be in Florida, because we live in Florida. So if any of you guys know about West Palm Beach is one of the most expensive cities to live in the United States. Are you reading that? I don't know. Okay, yes. And so it's one of the most expensive places to live in the United States. The homes right now, I think even a very small average home is at least 350, almost 400,000.
Those are houses that need to be renovated.
Fixer-uppers.
Yeah, that's
350,
like
400.
that's like you like you're not moving in. You need to fix it up.
Yeah.
To me, that's expensive. And like the houses that are like ready, perfectly ready, I would say is like 500.
Not including some of the add-ons and stuff that
Oh yeah,
you
that's
would want.
just yeah.
So we've lived here our whole life. Like Carly and I are both kind of born and raised in West Palm Beach.
I was born in Ohio.
Well, yeah, you were raised here, and
Yeah.
my grandma, who I'm extremely close to, still lives here. She kind of was like my mom, like my whole life, kind of raised me in a way. And all of my family has moved away besides my grandma and my aunt. And then most of her family lives here in West Palm, and her dad lives in Point Siena. Basically, we've been going back and forth, like, should we buy? There was a time during the pandemic where like, we're gonna buy, we're saving up. We've been saving up for a long time. Ever since we've been debt free, we've been saving up a lot of money for trying to buy a house, because we wanted to put 20% down and get a 15-year mortgage, do it in a way that really serves us for the long term.
Yeah.
And it's just been so hard. And
yeah, it's not the time to buy. I don't know much about the market, but I feel like it's not the time to buy right now for us.
Yes.
Right now. And there's like, look at us. A year ago, we wanted to live in an RV.
I guess we just
need
to
wait. I think we just need, yeah, we definitely do. The house market close. Yeah, exactly. Fixer-uppers. I mean, we've seen houses for $500,000 that are actually fixer-uppers. Like, it is crazy. I told him this. I'm like, because he's big on, he wants to give me the life I've always wanted, right? Because even when we were dating, I told him, my goal in life is to just be a mom. Like, to me, that's the best thing in the world. So I wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That was like the only thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to have a house, and I wanted like to do dishes and be able to look outside into the yard where my kids are like playing. Like, I know it's like cheesy because some people like they want to do huge things with their life. I just want to be a mom. That's my calling in life. So I feel like you also were like, I want to get a house because for me, like he wants me to have that where like my dreams are fulfilled. But I told him recently, I'm like, I don't even care if we're renting a house. All I want is the kids to have a backyard to like run in, Mm-hmm. So we decided we're just not gonna buy for another like couple years.
Yeah.
You live a great life, Carly. Yes, I do. I do. I love my life. I love being a stay-at-home mom. I don't know if it's postpartum baby blues or something, but for no reason, like 2 days ago, I was like so sad, and I was telling him like I was thinking, just imagining having to go back to work, and it literally makes me cry. I mean, I'm not going back to work or anything. I'm retired. I'm just kidding. But I'm just joking. But I just think about it. I'm like, I just love this life so much. Like, I'm very simple. I just want to see my kids just grow up. I want to be there for every moment. I just feel like it's a fulfilling life, and some people wait their whole life to like achieve a dream or whatever, and I just feel like this is my dream and it came true, and I'm just going to live that dream, you know? Like I don't feel like I need to find another dream or another aspiration in life. Like this is it. Yeah. So I do love my life.
That's sweet.
Thank you.
I forgot what the question was.
I don't even know.
Oh, we're talking about houses. So yeah, I mean, ideally, I would love to live. I really like West Palm because I don't know. I have people here, and my grandma, like I said. But
I don't mind moving though.
yeah, we've talked about. Moving.
I want to live close by because I want my kids to have their cousins because I grew up with my cousins. He has a pretty small family local,
Very
just
small.
like 3 people. And I have a huge family. Like, I don't even know. Like, I have 10 nieces and nephews, I think. I haven't counted them. How many do I have? I don't even know. Maybe more than that. I have no idea. I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and everyone has kids. So there's something there. But I would love to move to a state that doesn't have frogs because I'm terrified. That's the only reason why I would move. Like, I would love, does Georgia have frogs?
I don't know.
If
anyone on the live stream is from Georgia, let us know.
If whatever state doesn't have, Texas has frogs, right?
Texas? I don't know. I don't know if Nat's still on this, but Nat lived in Texas.
Oh, yeah, she just moved from Texas. But I will move anywhere that doesn't have frogs. Arizona, his dad is in Arizona, right?
Arizona. My dad does live in Arizona. I think it's too hot. Dry heat for
New Zealand doesn't have snakes.
New Zealand.
I'm not afraid of snakes though.
I would love to.
But I would love to go there.
New Zealand.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, that would be amazing. So, just so you
if
guys know.
If they don't have snakes, they probably don't have frogs, right? Because of like the climate, temperature. If it's cold, we'll Google it.
I am somebody who really wants to.
He's afraid of spiders. If he sees a scorpion, he'll die.
I don't think a scorpion would scare me. I don't like the fact that spiders can just creep up on you. Like they don't have to announce themselves. They don't make any noise. And then they just like spring themselves upon you. And you don't know if you're going to get bit or not. You don't know if it's like.
What? A spider?
Yes.
I don't know how this became a talk about that, but I kill spiders with my hands. You run from them.
Now,
this is why you have to marry your opposite. You have to be strong when your spouse is weak because you scream and run away from spiders.
I don't like spiders. I don't like walk. Do you guys are you guys like me when you wake up in the morning, it's like kind of dark and maybe you got to go somewhere and then you just walk into a web. Like what was, and there's nothing in the web. It's just there. And it's just like, for seconds, I'm just like every second I'm feeling it.
He's going crazy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He swears there's a spider web anywhere he walks.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't. So
anyways, that's another reason why we can't buy a house because I don't know where we're going to go. His mom lives in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Stephanie says webs are the worst. It's just like
his imaginary webs that he thinks he's walking into.
No, I just feel it. You just feel it. And it's just like I was trying to tell the story. If you guys follow Carlene on Instagram, she asked everyone like, what is their biggest fear? And I talked about mine. And I don't think we posted it. I was 19 years old. I was at USF, University of South Florida. And I was coming home after work. Now, mind you, I worked at Taco Bell. And that was a great job. Had a lot of great memories there. And as I'm walking back to my dorm, I walked through a spider web, okay? I walked through the spider web, and I can't see anything, but I'm like, something is on me. And I kind of felt like something was in my ear. And it freaked me out. So I go inside my bedroom, and I'm just hanging out, whatever, sitting there. And as I go to bed, I just hear scratching, like, and I'm like, there's a spider in my ear. I know it. The spider is in my ear. And
Aloha.
Oh, cool. From Hawaii. What time is it there? It's probably like the morning, right?
I don't know.
It's 9, almost 9 o'clock here. So I'm laying and I hear this scratching in my ear, and uh, I I freak out, but then I go to sleep, and in the morning I still hear it, and I go
I
to
didn't know this.
yes, I go to the urgent care, and I go in there, and I'm like, there's a spider in my ear. I need you guys to help me, and they're like, okay, no problem, come back, blah, 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 blah. And I'm each minute that's going by, I'm like, this thing is laying eggs. It's about to go to my brain. It's gonna go somewhere. And then they finally like, we're just gonna scope you, and they scope my ear, and he's just like,
Please tell me there was a spider.
and I'm like, I'm dead. Like this
Was
is.
there a spider?
He said it was a piece of hair in my ear.
This is why I tell you when it comes to you're so dramatic when it comes to spiders.
And
Like,
so
it was a
what
piece
made
of hair.
what made it so difficult? Let's go back to I worked at Taco Bell. I had no insurance. I paid $100 for a guy to tell me I had a hair inside my ear. Basically, he's like, clean your ears. Like that was devastating.
$100 for that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny to me.
Wow.
Someone said, I think Antarctica is the only place without frogs. Looks like we're moving.
Antarctica is the only place with like anything.
Without anything?
Yeah, like a research station and some researchers.
We're going.
Yeah. I don't know. Like we've never lived in a cold climate, so we don't know what it's like. And I know that we hear from people like even minimalism when it comes to like winters and people.
Yeah, it's harder because
different.
people ask me that all the time about seasons, and people want to do capsule wardrobes. We don't really have to do that in Florida because we don't need. I own like one jacket. I'm back, but I missed it. Why did I say it like that? I'm like, I'm back.
No, we're just reading
I'm
the comments
saying
as they come in.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a little bit harder. My sister lives in Colorado, and I see like she has like the snow boots and like the big jackets and everything, and she's actually moving back to Florida now. She's really excited about it. But yeah, I don't know how we would last over there. Maryland, none of those crazy lizards y'all have. Yeah, okay. The lizards, iguana. How many? There's a lot of iguanas here, specifically right at our front door. Like you walk outside and there's like the mom, the dad, the cousins, and then there's like 10 babies. You know, like, and iguanas are big. Like they're like, half your body length. The ones. Did you see the like huge one that's outside right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bigger than the upstairs people's dog.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid
If you guys
of it.
want to see a really funny video, when we were putting the car seats, all 3 car seats, there says 2:57 p.m. in Hawaii. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Her husband's dealing with hyenas and mosquitoes. Yeah, so that video, he's putting the car seats in, and the lady who lives above us, a big iguana fell on her from the tree.
So watch the video, and
you
you'll
can
know
hear
exactly
her. You
when
can
this
hear her
happened.
screaming and stuff. She was, and
I didn't know what to do.
every time I passed her after that, she's like, an iguana fell on me, and now I cannot walk under the tree without checking to see if there's an iguana. But
Yeah.
they're bigger than puppies. They're huge.
Yeah.
And when it gets cold here, like Florida cold, what is it, like 40 degrees or something?
Yeah, it actually happened on Christmas. Remember?
Yeah. Was it Christmas?
It was
That
Christmas.
So
Yeah.
when the iguanas get really cold, when they get cold, they like freeze and they just like fall out the trees and they're like asleep, frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And then they thaw out later and then they start moving.
Yeah.
Layering is key.
Florida problems.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. So we don't know what it's like to like be in a winter, and we've never taken our kids.
Yeah,
Anywhere
maybe we'd have to
cold?
do like a vacation first to see if we even like it.
Yeah, I actually have gone up north a few times for work, and I would say the one thing that I think the seasons are beautiful. I've been to Pennsylvania during the fall, and like I've never seen colors like that in my life. But I don't really like that it's very cloudy all the time. A lot of people say that it's like seasonal depression is like a big thing, and
I thought seasonal depression was because it's snowing and you can't go outside.
and it's like
I'll Google it, guys.
So we live in Florida, and it's always sunny. And I was telling my brother, like, because my brother lives in North Carolina. He's like, I think I want to come back home. I was like, come home.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and he's like, basically, like, yeah, Bethany says it's from a lack of sunlight.
Oh,
And so
okay, yeah.
I walk outside, and when you have, like, just so much sun beaming at you. I don't know, like I've lived my whole life playing sports and it just makes me feel like good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I live in Florida and I have low vitamin D.
You're a stay-at-home mom. You don't get
I
out.
know, I don't go out and I'm very pale, as you can see. Like, look at me. My cheeks are like pink. So, I'm so light. But,
Yeah.
seasonal.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder. Sad.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I hear people talk about it, but when you have never experienced it, you really don't know.
Yeah.
I've gotten it living in Jersey. Yeah, your mom too.
Yeah, a lot of people
But
struggle
then
with
I
it.
tell her, move back. I always tell her, move back, and then she's like, I can't take the heat. So I'm like, choose
Feel
your hard.
poison.
I don't know which one is worse.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about moving. So
Yeah, that's how
where-
this whole...
that's
We
where we're-
can't answer a question without giving like 10 stories.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any other questions?
Can you go back and like scroll
yeah.
and see? if I
As
missed
as
anything?
we're talking, we're just gonna look through if anyone had any questions, and I want to make sure that we don't.
Did you see that comment? Her husband's dealing with hyenas and mosquitoes
In Africa.
That's crazy.
That is awesome. Awesome.
Indiana.
So we got a lot of people from different places, which is cool.
You can rely on hubby and you both respect your goals. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I'm not.
We are a team.
We're a team.
But you're way better at... What is that? Aw.
Well, that's the thing too about being a stay-at-home mom. It's like it's different, right, for everybody.
Yeah, it's different for everyone. And a big thing is
Would you just share
being a stay-at-home mom.
Would you just share what you shared on Instagram the other day? Like a lot of people resonated with. It was about
I post so much on Instagram.
It was about just respecting people's choices and just.
Oh, yeah.
That's because I feel like a lot of moms deal with that.
Well, yeah, it could go with like motherhood too. As stay-at-home moms or just moms in general, we compare ourselves a lot to each other, and social media is a highlight reel. So what you see someone doing is just the best parts of what they're doing, because normally you don't show the hard stuff. It's hard for all of us, and it's rewarding for all of us, and we can love it, and at the same time we could want to break from it sometimes. But what I had shared on social media was just because everyone is so opinionated on social media, and everyone right now is kind of like at war. There's like two sides of it's pretty much anything. And I was just saying, like, we can all, how do I even say it? Like, basically we can share what we're doing and how we live our lives and what we like without downing the other side, like without downing someone who does things opposite. And I meant it more for what's going on in the world right now, but it also pertains to motherhood, because someone had wrote me that. Like, yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about that, but yeah, I won't. But
Yeah.
just respecting everyone and their decisions is like a big one for me.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like we're in this stage of life where, everyone's trying to figure it out. Like, we're all
we're all doing our best, right?
Yeah, and it's like, obviously it's weird times. And hi, Christina. Is it Christina? Yep. It's weird times. Like we talk about Mila. We
Yeah.
wanted to experience so much with her in this
I
season, and
know.
it's just like in a season where we can't go outside, we can't really
Yeah.
do anything. Same with our son Zion. Like, there will be times, and we'll be honest, we'll be transparent. Like, it'll be like a couple days, and we're like, when did Zion get out of the house last?
Oh yeah, there's times where it's like Friday and we're like, when did? Because he doesn't. Yeah.
Remember,
We're like, oh my gosh, he hasn't felt the sun since Monday. Like, we live in an apartment. We are doing our best, and we're trying to like just work around what's going on in the world right now, and yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, like and you've always gotten like amazing comments, like especially on Instagram and stuff, like people really resonate with your stories and how you like you know, how you come across, and they'll be inspired by you as a stay-at-home mom. But it's like, even at that, like, we all, even, you know, when you shut your phone off, we're always like just trying to do our best. Like,
Yeah.
there's really there's a lot of imperfect days, a lot of days where we're
Yeah,
like,
some days you just have to
doesn't
say it is what it is, and sometimes the things that you said you would never do, you got to do them. Like technology. There was one point, like one year of our life where we were like, no technology. We didn't even have a TV, like no TVs in the house, no screen time, all that stuff. And it was good for that season. We learned a lot and we spent a lot more time together. And then we got a TV again. And then there was one point where I said, oh, my kids, I'm not going to give them tablets because I see what it does. I had so many opinions on parenting when I didn't have kids. It's usually when you don't have kids that you're like, my kids will never do X, Y, and Z. And then fast forward to 2020. I know we're in 2021, but 2020, when my kids, I was like, you get a tablet, you get a tablet,
yeah.
I get a tablet. No, I'm just kidding. But we're just like adapting to whatever gets thrown at us. And for a long time, I was like, I want to do everything right for my kids. And sometimes it was at the expense of like my own like mental like well-being. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the best mom that I can be for them while still showing up and making time for myself. So sometimes that means you guys need to go in the room and play so that mommy can like work out or do something for herself. And I just kind of let go of that mom guilt. And someone just said something about survival mode. We're all in survival mode. I mean, yeah. I look at survival mode like we're just doing what we got to do every day.
Yeah.
But it's good. There's good in every day. Even when the day wasn't good, we can find something good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, like, you know, you shared a little bit about how, like, right now you're feeling it, you know, just like a little bit of postpartum.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of baby blues. I just realized it the other day, and there's nothing, like, I am so happy. I am honestly the happiest I've been in a very long time. And I feel like life is good, and I'm excited about a lot of things, and I'm on my weight loss journey, which has been like the best thing for me because I look forward to it every single day, and I finally feel like as a stay-at-home mom I have something for me. But then all of a sudden I'm just like sad sometimes randomly. I know everyone goes through stuff like that, but I realize like I think I'm going through some blues because I'll be like laughing and then I'm just like, I'm gonna cry now. Like just the randomest thing. I went through it with my first child, but that was really bad. That was like a really, really, really hard time for me. And then when I got pregnant 9 months after having her, it went away. I think my hormones might have like balanced themselves out again, maybe. I don't know how that happened. And then I didn't go through it with my second baby, and then I just started feeling this way like recently. Like really recent. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I don't even know how that came up.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah,
Well, you were saying like finding good in every day, and then.
Yeah, like I'm finding good in every single day. Oh yeah, I do. Like I just realized the baby blue thing like 2 days ago. But I just saw my midwife, and I mean we've done counseling and everything. So there is no, to me, I don't see that stigma around getting help. Like, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes I didn't get to read the whole thing. But anyways, yeah. So everything is good, but just being real, because I know some moms, they're just like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong with me. And sometimes it actually is just you might be going through some postpartum stuff. I don't know how long postpartum or baby blues can last, but maybe as long as if you've had a kid.
Yeah, maybe some of you have gone through it and might have gone through it even longer.
Yeah, maybe. But we'll come out on the other side.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be good.
You know, we look at I don't know, we spent a lot of 2020 just kind of like looking at our life. Like, We're gonna be sharing a video coming up soon that I'm really excited about. But like we walked into 2020 with so many hopes and
Blow it up, girl.
um, so many like, all right, this is gonna be a new season. Like I just, I had just stopped working at the church, and I was working two jobs, and then I was like, I'm just gonna work one. We have two kids. I feel like I got a lot going on, and I wanted to slow down. And then we're really excited, and then the pandemic hit, and everything just kind of stopped in its place. And then we started asking ourselves a lot of questions, like what's next for us, like what should we be focusing on. And we wanted to find something to be excited about. And we had minimalism going for us, and it was great. It brought a lot of peace to our home.
Yeah.
But we're still like, what's next? Like, it was because so much of my life and so much of her life was wrapped around what I did.
Yeah.
And then we kind of not lost it, but like moved on. And it was like, okay, well, who are we? Like, who am I? Who are you? Who are we as a family? Who are we as a couple? And it made us ask like a lot of like tough questions, like really deep stuff. And so one of the beautiful things that came out of it was this YouTube channel. Like we decided to, like, we wanted to share how minimalism has given us so much peace in our life.
Yeah.
Minimalism wasn't like, hey, I just want to have less stuff, or hey, I just want to like, I don't know, like be like somebody else. It was we wanted our kids to grow up in a home where they didn't have to worry about things. And I shared a little bit about my story about like living in a really frugal home and always feeling like I was like scarcity, like I was gonna run out. And we didn't want our kids to feel that, but we also didn't want to have our kids feel like they needed a lot of things too. So it was just like this tough balance.
Yeah. Definitely.
But anyways, like 2020, it was a weird year. We asked a lot of questions. We started the YouTube channel, but then we're at home all the time, and we're not seeing family, and we're not interacting with people. And it's just been an interesting journey. And I think a lot of you guys can, maybe you relate, because a lot of our lives got just like put on hold.
Yeah.
And maybe you have kids, like we shared earlier, like we were super excited for Mila's, like this was her year, like she was in the best stage of her life. And anyway, so
but I think we can all agree, like this whole thing has me too. This whole situation, this pandemic and stuff, has really put like life into perspective. First of all, it tells you like life is short and like you never know what could happen. But also it's like we had so much time to reflect on like what we want to do with our lives and what path we want to take and everything. So I would say like a lot of positive has come out of it as well. A lot of me feeling just like so thankful and grateful for like my life and everything that we have been blessed with. So good stuff. Lots of time to reflect. I feel like our marriage is better.
And then we had a kid during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, I got pregnant during the pandemic. I had a baby during a pandemic. Having a baby during a pandemic, it's gonna go down in history books. It's probably it's already, there's been pandemics before, but you know what I mean? Like, I just can't believe, it was just so strange. Like, I had to like wear a mask while I was having a baby. It was just so weird. I mean, I took it off when I was like in like pushing the baby out. I didn't even push, but you know what I mean? Like, it was just really weird, really, really weird. But somebody
did you guys see our labor video? Like that was.
Oh yeah, we have a labor and delivery video. But yeah, it was interesting. I had to get like COVID testing, and then he could come up, and it was wild. And the baby was born like so quick. It was insane. But someone said that her the comment went by so fast. Her sister works out, and it helped with like postpartum depression. Yeah. So I don't have very severe. I did with my first child. Didn't have any issues with my second, and then now I'm just having like some blues. Like I'm just having like, but it's nothing like what I had with my first. And I think it fuels my workouts. So for those of you who know, do I ever talk about it on YouTube? I'm very active on Instagram. Like that's like my main like social media. And I made a TikTok about my weight loss journey. But I'm down 30 pounds. Yes. I made a goal to lose 50 pounds by my birthday, and my birthday's coming up in June. So I have to lose 20 more pounds by my birthday, and I'm only doing this the healthy way. So you can lose 2 pounds, like 1 to 2 pounds is healthy weight loss. So I'm like, okay, if I still continue to lose at this rate, like 1 to 2 pounds, I can hit my goal of losing 50. And that's not like my ultimate goal, but that was like a big goal for me. So he shared, I had PCOS. So I found out I had PCOS because I gained 50 pounds like in like 10 months or something.
Before we got married.
Right before we got married. And I didn't know what happened. Like nothing changed in my life. And I was like, why did I just gain all this weight? And I felt so sad. I didn't even fit in my wedding dress. Like I can't even look at my wedding pictures without thinking like, oh my gosh, like I wish I had just changed my dress or something. But anyways, it took me a long time to get diagnosed. And then I was finally diagnosed. And then they told me 2 things that I remember were you have PCOS and yeah, it is pretty cool. It could be hard for you to have kids. And then the second one was you need to lose weight. So it was like, they told me a bunch of stuff, but those are the 2 things I remember. And I was like, I don't even care about my weight. I'm gonna try to have a baby because like I shared earlier, like having a baby was the main thing that I desired in my life. So we had a baby, and then 9 months later, I was pregnant again. And then I think a year and a half, right? I was pregnant again. So I had to lose those 50 pounds, plus I had to lose from 3 pregnancies. So I feel like now that I made that decision, like, you know what? I am done having kids and I'm taking my health back and I'm very serious about it. So yeah, hopefully I'll be in the best shape of my life and healthy by the end of the year. Be able to run with these kids because I raced my daughter. It's like literally like I'm not even kidding, like I'm not like a sore loser, but like it kind of made me want to cry.
Oh, she's fast.
I raced her like right before or right when I was starting my weight loss journey, and she beat me, and she's 4 years old. And it wasn't like I let her win. It was like I was really trying to beat her and I couldn't keep up. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this, okay? Because I know she's a little girl, but she shouldn't be able to beat me in a race. So anyways, my motivation is living long for my kids and being able to beat my daughter in a race. Are you a Cancer? Yes, I am.
That's fine.
I actually, I say it so confidently, yes, I'm a Cancer, because I just know that I am, but I actually don't know anything about signs. Like, I don't know.
We're both
I
Cancers.
don't know anyone else. You're a Cancer? I didn't even know. I don't know anyone else's signs. I don't know my kids' signs. I don't know what they mean. I don't know anything about it. But I've had people ask me before, like, are you a Cancer? I can tell you're a Cancer. You're sensitive or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know about it. But yes, I am sensitive.
I think Ani asked if we read this book, what does clutter do to you or something. We actually haven't read that.
What's the name of it? I've read so many decluttering books. I went hard at the library years ago.
All right. Have you guys ever read What Clutter is Trying to Tell You?
No.
Never heard of it.
Who's the author? I don't think I've heard of it either.
Yeah, let us know.
I took that test that you mentioned and I scored 2. Is that the Enneagram test?
Yeah,
Maybe?
what test are you talking about?
If you're talking about the Enneagram test, those are pretty interesting. There's not the same as like horoscope. Enneagram is more like personality. I am a 6, right? And you are
An 8.
an 8.
Yeah.
I can't tell you off the top of my head what that means, but I'm like a very, what kind of person am I? What does the 6 mean? I remember the bad parts of it or like the flaws of it.
Like everyone.
Yeah, like number 6s are like paranoid.
Mm-hmm. Very paranoid.
I'm an 8.
Yeah, I remember Lo when Lo and I went live. We're talking about like we're both.
Oh, you're
8s.
both 8s?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said that they really like the videos that we've been making and that they look very professional.
That's so sweet.
Thank you. Oh, well, I don't do it. He does.
No, I mean, to be honest, like, the videos that we've been doing have been a lot of fun. Like,
Yeah.
I told you guys that, like, we're trying to figure out, like, what's this next season for us, and it's definitely been this community, like growing this community together, sharing our life and sharing how minimalism has really changed it for our family, like really changed it.
Yeah.
And so, I started dabbling in with the video. I was never into video before we started this YouTube channel, and I started trying to learn, and it was like I would get better, and then sometimes I would be like, man, this is so hard, and then we would keep trying. And anyways, we just want to. Our hope is that every time we post a new video, that it would just be, I don't know, it would just inspire you guys, and I don't know, just resonate, because a lot of our stories might be like your story, and we just want to share how it's possible to live minimal, have an amazing life, have an abundant life, and just see how, like, minimalism, it's not just about decluttering, it's like something deeper. And it's really given us the opportunity to enjoy our family, like enjoy raising our family, because there's a lot of things that can get in the way of that.
And
Thank you, Melinda.
Minimalism has a lot to do with why I am happy at home being a stay-at-home mom. So it's very, very fulfilling. Someone asked what... Yeah, we're going live. Hi from Georgia. We were talking about Georgia earlier. Do you guys have frogs in Georgia? Because it's not off the list of moving there. I get a caffeine boost. Oh, yay.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wait, it's because we're hyper?
I don't know. A lot of our recent videos are a little bit more chill.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the chill one in the relationship. Like, I'm very calm. I'm very funny, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm funny, but I'm like the chill one, and he's like the energy and whatnot. Like, we haven't been to a wedding in a long time, but you will really know our relationship when we go to a wedding, because he's in the middle of the dance floor, and I'm just hyping him up. I'm like, go do your thing.
There's nothing minimal about my dance moves.
No. Someone asked what our favorite podcasts are.
So for me...
Just let me answer it. Let me see if you were going to say this.
Okay.
He is, can I say the word obsessed?
Sure.
Obsessed with Brooke Castillo. Like, that is that her name?
Castillo.
Castillo.
It's called the Life Coach School Podcast.
I mean, she's great. I listen to her stuff too. Like, she's a really great coach and everything, but he's like, Brooke Castillo said this, and that. I'm like, did she now?
Yeah.
And I mean that in like a good way. Like, she's really... I've listened to a few of her podcasts, and I'm like, okay, I see what you mean.
What about you?
You should do a dance video, they said.
A dance video? Didn't you post my baby mama?
Yeah,
video?
but I posted one, like, him joking. He did the baby mama dance at the hospital because I was not able to do it. So that's on my Instagram. And I have a few videos of him dancing at weddings, actually. I can reshare them on my stories if you follow me on Instagram. My favorite podcast, I like the Minimalist Moms podcast. Man, who's that other guy? My phone is not next to me. That's like the main podcast I was listening to. There's another one. Man, there was the Functional Minimalist. I think that was her name. She stopped recording podcast episodes. I was so hurt by that. And she doesn't have like social media or anything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not like huge. Who have I been listening to? No, I really did stop listening to a bunch. James Clear, does he have one?
He does.
Oh, no, not. Why did I say James Clear? The Minimalist, I listened to some of them.
Listen to Dad Tired. It's about being Christian and leading your family. Got to check that out.
You should. Can you go back to someone asked about something?
Yes, and I'll mention, I actually really love, it's called The Ease of Hustle. And, for a while, it was like a coaching podcast. Lo asked who are our favorite music artists. I'll definitely share that.
Music artists, I know what you're going to say.
So I thought it was more like a business podcast, more like a coach podcast. But I've been really into learning how to, like, coach myself, like, learn how to really understand the thoughts that I have in my own mind that cause the feelings that I have that lead to the actions that I make in life. Like you look at the results in your life and sometimes you're like, how did I get here? Why do I do some of the things that I do? And I really learned a lot from that. So I started following Lauren Cash, who is her podcast is The Ease of Hustle, and it's something that I look forward to every single Monday it drops. And so when I wake up on Monday morning, I go to the gym, and it's when I leave the gym, it's about 7 a.m. Before I would go straight to Dunkin' to get your coffee, and I'd be listening to the podcast. Get
Yeah.
home, get Mila, take her to school.
You know
come back.
what? Desiree's podcast. I'm not caught up with it, but it used to be Minimalist and now it's With Intention. And I was on that podcast. So you should go find my episode. I was actually on the Minimalist Mom's podcast too.
Just recently.
Yeah, and he was like a guest feature on there.
Surprise
favorite
guest.
surprise guest, yeah. He came on at the end. Favorite artist, if I had to choose one, just one, it would be Luther Vandross.
Oh.
Always, all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old soul. What is yours? That guy that you're constantly playing.
Right now, my favorite artist is JP Sachs. Yeah.
You're my favorite artist.
So sweet. Yeah. I've been trying to get more back into the music stuff. We've been really focused on our channel and just trying to post more videos here and connect with you guys. And there will be times where I'm like, man, I really just want to sit at the piano and write or, just record something. Crystal asks, what do you guys currently do budget envelopes for? Do you guys save for your children? We're currently figuring out how to save for our children's future. So we moved away from, but we budget on You Need a Budget. And that's an online software. Everything, it makes it really simple to just copy and paste a video up. I just read video.
Do it,
post a music
Oh,
video.
he has.
I have a few.
You can like literally YouTube his name and his music videos will come up.
But You Need a Budget. It makes it really simple to just like quickly make a budget, and then we have not been doing as much with the envelopes.
Cash, yeah. We
So,
just recently made that decision together. Like we
Yeah.
just talked about it like a week ago.
yeah, I still think envelopes is a really, really good way to save money and a really good way to manage. But we made the shift from like eating out to like eating a lot at home. And so we
Yeah.
tried to figure out, and I think this is really good, and I'll mention this, like for us, we said, okay, we want to start eating more
Hi.
at home. Hi from New Zealand. So many New Zealand.
I know.
gotta
We
go to
have
New
to go
Zealand.
there.
Wow. So we decided like we want to start eating more at home. She's on her weight loss journey. Even I, which I haven't really made, much announcement, but I'm also trying to trying to cut and get slim and trim for summertime. But basically we said we wanted to eat more at home. So we said, okay, we need to be a little bit more flexible on the way that we spend our money for groceries, because it got really difficult for us. Like I would take out $800 for the month for groceries, but in order for us to kind of be flexible and just like, hey, we needed more stuff, and we're still trying to learn our habits of like, what do we actually spend? What will we actually spend without making it really difficult on ourselves? If we wanted to eat everything at home, and we'll answer that question in a second,
And that
Laura.
one above it.
Okay, and so anyways, yes, we kind of moved a little bit away for right now with the cash, but we know exactly how much we spend, and we stick to that. And another trick, not even a trick, we move the money that we want to save as soon as I get paid.
Yeah.
So that's almost like in a way dummy proofing.
Yeah, we have different accounts for different things, so.
And she asked about like, how do we save for our children? So right now I have 12% of my income going straight into my 401k, and Naivy asked the app is
you tell her.
You Need a Budget. So 12% of my income goes straight to my 401k, and then the rest, 3%, I try to put into a Roth IRA. And so that is saving for not only retirement, but for also our kids' future. So,
Yeah.
our
We
if they
haven't
go to,
decided on like a
well, what?
college plan.
Yeah, we'll max out our Roth IRAs until, and if we have money left over, we can open up a 529. But I think one of the things that we've been talking about this, is we are wondering like how do we want to approach college and future with our kids, because I come from a background where my mom, I'm Indian, and so my family was all about you need to be a doctor, you need to go to school, you need to get your master's, everything. Like you need to go, and that's the only way to be successful. And so for my whole life, I always thought that's the only way that I could live my life is if I go to school, become a doctor, whatever. And for so long, it made me feel like if anyone does anything different, then they're wrong. Like, or they're not gonna achieve, a successful life or a fulfilling life or whatever. Now, being on the other side, realizing, okay, I went through all that and I didn't feel that amazing at the end of going through school.
Yeah.
I was up to my MCATs, took my MCAT, and at the end of that, I realized this is not for me. I loved medicine. I loved learning about it. I was like, I could definitely see myself being a surgeon. And
Yeah.
I took the MCAT and I was like, I just have so much bigger passions inside of myself that I know that I would never fully be happy if I was just to do that.
Well, it's because it was not really your
Right,
dream. It
but
was just kind of
there is
yeah.
some people who like have to
That's
go to
it.
school for their dream. So,
Yeah, but
anyways, I'm sorry.
no,
long
yeah,
story.
what you meant is like because it was instilled in you. That's
Yeah.
what his family will even tell my daughter. Like my daughter says she wants to be a doctor. Where do you think she learned that from? And it's fine. She can be a doctor. She can be an astronaut. She can be whatever she wants. But if it's not her dream, then ultimately you're not gonna be happy unless you pursue your own dream. So just wasn't.
Yeah. So
What was meant for
what
you.
we talked about was like, hey, we will save for their college. We'll have enough money if they want to go full ride for 4 years or maybe even beyond. We will save for that, but we want to save for it in a way that gives them the flexibility of, hey, if they want to do a trade, they want to go to trade school, and that's not really, some of it's covered by a 529. Or if they want to, hey, Dad, I want to start a business. I feel really passionate about it. I want to give them the support that I didn't always see as a kid and allow them to dream. Because one of the things that I felt for years was like I couldn't dream. Like I felt like, I can't dream. Like, why would you want to be a musician or an artist? Or why do you want to do this? Like you can't make any money with that, or you can't be successful like that. And then for my whole life, I wanted to be a baseball player. My dad played professional baseball, but my mom's side, they raised me, so they were like, well, you should be a doctor, you should, whatever. And every time I had a dream, I felt ashamed when I would want to tell them like, how's college, or what are you doing? I would feel ashamed because I would be like, I really want to be this, but I feel weird telling them because
you feel judged.
so I know that they didn't really mean anything by it. Like they didn't want to hurt my feelings, but it's just the way that they came off. And experiencing that now, almost
Yeah.
30 years later, now I'm like, I want my kids to dream.
Yeah.
I really want them to dream as big as they can. And so
Yeah, they don't need
anyways,
to be who we want them to be. They need to be who they want to be. Like,
so you
let
asked
them
about
be.
like saving, and for me,
See, we tell 1,000
for me,
stories.
I'm just thinking like that's exactly how I want to save for them, is just giving them opportunity and not time. Like, hey, you have to use this money to go to school. And at least for us, I feel like we were on the same page about that.
Yeah.
There's
Personally have never ever liked school. I got my associate's degree and then I was like, peace out. I'm not going to finish.
Every Dollar app, Linda, you asked about Every Dollar app. I used the Every Dollar app before You Need a Budget, and I think You Need a Budget is just so much.
Someone asked,
amazing.
were you ever judged for being minimalist?
Yes.
Yes.
Laura.
Oh my
okay,
goodness.
Laura asked that. There was another question too. No?
We're invited to dinner is that New Zealand?
New Zealand. We have to go.
Book a flight. No,
I
I'm just
would
kidding.
love to see
Here.
what the culture of food is there.
We received a ton of criticism about minimalism. So just like anything else, when you first get excited or do something new in your life, people are going to be like skeptical, especially if you, I mean, if you start something and then you stop it, you know, people are just kind of going to give you the side eye. I had people say that I was like, I needed to chill out, or what was the one comment that I always talked about? I haven't thought about it in a long time. I got called ridiculous. I was told that my house was cold. I was criticized a lot. And also it's kind of like a mockery, like for some people to be like, I know you're a minimalist, but like you need X, Y, and Z, or like kind of force things on us. And anyways, the cool thing about that is that I want to say every single person who tried to make me feel bad and say, oh, you're going through a phase, or oh, that's ridiculous. First of all, I gave everyone stuff for free. I gave away so much of our things, and I am very generous with my things. Like, and so are you. Like, if we have it, you can have it. Like, if I'm getting rid of something, or if I have something, even if it's of value, like I'll give it away, because like I feel like I'm gonna bless someone else or whatever. So first of all, we blessed a bunch of people with stuff, and it made us feel good. We were happy. And then even the people who were kind of like, why are you guys going after this lifestyle? Like, it makes no sense. Now, or it was like months later, maybe a year later, those people, same people who would like mock me, would send me pictures of like things they were decluttering, or something exciting they were doing, and whatever else. And so it was really cool to see that those people who had like a judgment or opinion on my lifestyle were actually seeing how it changed my life, and seeing how things were peaceful, and how we had more space and all that stuff. So those people who once thought negatively of it, they wanted to be a part of it. And obviously, I was more than happy to be there for them, and like I loved receiving pictures, and I was just cheering them on. So yeah, any criticism I got from people turned into like them being inspired by our lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Even till today, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about your family? Not really.
Yeah, I actually get a lot of criticism.
Oh yeah, no.
Yep.
You're not going to get rid of, return. I get asked that all the time by someone's family member.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, we're open about pretty much everything. And if someone were to specifically ask me, like, oh, you're not going to get rid of some X, Y, and Z, we will straight up tell them, like, if they ask, we got rid of it, or, you know, this is not something that we can have in our home. A really, really big thing that we have done and can do is if someone gives you something and they're like, oh, don't get rid of this, especially if it's for the kids, I will say, you know, we don't have the space for it in our home. It's not something that we necessarily want to keep, but if you want our kids to have it, you can keep it at your home, so that when we go over there or they go over there, they can play with it there. And that's actually been something that we do. Yes, there are things that no longer serve you. There are things that you can have for a season and then you get rid of them. That's even when you buy something for yourself. So if I were to gift someone something, right, I would never check back in to see if they kept it, or check back in to see, or to make sure that they didn't get rid of it. You give it to someone, you forget about it, right? You don't, it shouldn't come back up.
Yeah.
But now we're pretty like intentional. We haven't gone to anything, any parties or anything like that. But that's why like giving gift cards or cash is like the way to go. They can buy whatever they want. Or you can like specifically ask someone like what they want. Like we've had people since becoming minimalist, like my daughter's birthday, let's say, they'll say like, hey, I know you're a minimalist, but is there anything that your daughter needs? And most of the, I mean, not really, she doesn't need anything, but there have been times where I say, actually, yes, she wants this thing. And it's always something like super, super cheap. But I'm like, oh, she actually wants this. And they're like, perfect, I'll get her that, you know? So some people want to give gifts. So just tell them like what you actually need. Your mom did that too. His mom, she's a huge gift giver. My mom is a huge gift giver too. And during Christmas, she spends a ton of money. And I was like, you know what? The kids actually need a bed frame. This was when we transitioned them from like their cribs. And so I told her about it, and she's like, great. She bought that, and it actually was less than her spending the normal amount she would on toys. So it worked out. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm just going off. But
Yeah.
what was the next?
Let's see, what else do we got from the live chat? Laura said that she's been told not to get rid of stuff too.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I get it. So, I mean, being on the other side.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So giving like a zoo pass or something like that.
Yeah,
I've actually
good.
been gifted zoo tickets.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
We
Oh, and
mentioned
we were
that.
gifted the bounce house place from Cali.
Yeah, a good friend of mine
Yeah, that
gave
was
us
pretty
a gift, and oh my God, she loved that. So like, activities in a lot of ways last so much longer with kids
I know.
because she will never forget going to that bounce house.
Yeah, we used it a year later.
But a
it's great.
toy or something that she got, that she no longer plays with after a month or two is always like, it's gone. What minimalistic details are you looking for in your dream home? That is a really good question.
What does that mean?
Are you talking about like,
I mean, like,
aesthetic or
yeah.
or maybe she's talking about even space too?
Oh, I want. If this is what you mean, I like light and bright. I want lots of sunlight. I want an open layout. I want a white kitchen. I want like white walls. The kids can choose whatever color they want. I want a huge yard. I want a patio.
Yeah.
A screened in patio where I can just be, yeah. I want lots of room and very little things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's exactly the same. I was writing down the other day, like, what I like to write out, like, my dream for our life. Like, what's our dream home look like? And it doesn't. Every time I write it, I'm like, even if I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't want a huge house.
No, not
like even like
4 bedrooms.
Well, we do drive by this one. So we drive by the water all the time. There is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful classic mansion that we drive by, and it is enormous. So we live in West Palm Beach. We drive by the island, and this is where the ultra millionaires live. And I always say, I will buy that house, and not because I want to live there. Like I know that wouldn't be functional, but it's just so beautiful. But when it comes to like a home, what realistically, open space, and like she said, a lot of light. We really love light. It just like, again, when it comes to the sunlight, it brightens your mood.
Yeah.
Like it makes us feel, and it like when we have a really clean house, which is not always often because we do our best.
Our kids,
even
man.
Like I said, we shared in the last video, even being minimal, like it's a lot. Like our kids, they'll throw stuff on the floor. We got to clean up, but when it's really clean, it just looks so nice when there's a lot of light going through. So I think that's one of the biggest things, right?
Yeah.
Just like a lot of light, open layout.
Someone asked, they decluttered, but they still feel like their home is cluttered. I don't know where that one is. So I would say declutter again. That's the easiest answer. But we kind of had that issue too, and it came down to we just had too much furniture too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, sometimes removing those big items will really help. So do you have a coffee table that you don't need? Do you really need end tables? If you have a light on your ceiling, do you need lamps on the sides? I know it's terrible when we've already spent money on these things, but the money was spent when we got them, so it's not really getting spent when they leave the house. Mm-hmm. And just because you bought something doesn't warrant having to deal with it cluttering your house. So anyways, I don't know if that's your situation, but maybe kind of looking at it like that. So we had decluttered, and then in our kitchen above like the dining table, I had like a collage wall, and there was like, I don't know, 20 things on, not really, maybe like 10, 15 things on the wall. And even though everything was perfectly decluttered, the table was like cleared off and empty, that space always felt kind of cluttered. And then I was like, you know what? I think it's the collage wall making me feel cluttered. So we took it down, and then I was like, thank you. Like this, now the space is peaceful. So sometimes just try to remove one big item. Even like right now, like we have a TV on the wall, and we don't have like a TV stand. Like some people have like the TV stand, and then they have like the TV on the wall. And unless you have like the wires and I don't know, like the cable box or something, like you don't really need the TV stand. So you can always just kind of be reevaluating your space and make it work for you. If your kitchen feels cluttered, try to find places like in under the counter, in the cabinets to put things away. If you've seen our kitchen, we don't keep anything out except the Berkey water filter, which has to be out, and the coffee machine. So even something that I use every day, like the air fryer, the toaster, that all has a space. On the dining table, I used to like to have a centerpiece, and at one point, like table mats and stuff, I don't even have that on there. So the table is just empty and inviting. What else is like the common nightstands? Like, what do you actually need on it? So I would say if you've already decluttered, just kind of like fine tune the rest of the house. And the least amount of things out can usually be pretty helpful with that. And people are so concerned with, oh, would I use this every single day? But it really does take 2 seconds to pull something out, plug it in, use it, and then put it back away. So consider that maybe. And what was the next question?
Let's see. What is the next question? Do you want a home with a pool? I'm trying to convince my hubby to get us one. I'm in California, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
I'm very opinionated on the pool thing for my family. I'm nervous. I have little babies, and my daughter, we put her through
Infant survival.
ISR, infant survival swimming. And that was great. It gave me lots of peace of mind. My 2-year-old and my newborn have not gone through that. So my kids would need to go through like ISR and like a lot of swimming lessons before we get a pool. We live in Florida, so they're all going to go through it soon. I think the reason I'm scared of having a pool, I know you can have a pool gate. There's also pool alarms. But I have a friend whose 2 of her kids drowned.
2 friends.
No, the same girl.
No.
The one who's twins.
No.
Oh, and yeah, so I have more than one friend who've actually had kids drown, and I'm not trying to instill fear, but they share their story with me, and one friend in particular, she was the one who really encouraged me to put my kids in ISR. So anyways, because of that, I don't feel ready to have a pool, and even with the gate, I feel like I wouldn't just let my kids run freely in the backyard and I'm just like doing my own thing. I would feel like I'm always on guard. And yeah, so that's just for me. I don't want a pool unless my kids are much older. ISR is infant survival. What does the R stand for? Resource? I don't know. It's basically survival swimming. So you can start as early as 6 months old. And it teaches your child to basically save themselves. It's survival swimming. It's not really swimming, it's survival. So if your kid falls in the pool, it teaches them how to turn themselves over and float and cry and kind of just keep themselves there until someone comes to get them. So you learn the basics of that. They learn it in a diaper, then they do summer clothes, and then you even get tested in winter clothes. So my daughter was able to get thrown into the pool, fall into the pool, all of that, and then flip over and save herself. And she also learned how to swim to the edge and hold on until someone came to get her. So yeah, it's just survival swimming. It's not like the normal swim to the side or like real swimming. I mean, it is, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it's basically just to survive. In Florida, there's water everywhere, so I just feel like everyone needs to go through it. But I hope I didn't make you feel scared to get a pool.
If your kids are older.
Yeah,
maybe,
it's just me.
Great.
I don't know. I just want to be able to let my guard down when we have a home, and just let the kids just do what they want in the backyard and dig in the dirt and stuff. And I know that I'm just a very like high alert, like anxious and kind of paranoid with stuff like that. So I know,
Enneagram 6.
yeah, I know that I just wouldn't feel at peace with it until they were much older. But I have little babies, so yeah.
Yeah, it all depends.
Maybe if they had all gone through ISR and they all knew how to swim, I would feel differently. But I'm just a little worried.
She said, Ani said, if you save college money and your kids don't use it, would you let your kids spend it on something else? So,
yes, I would. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. Well, you kind of said that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if the money is for them, then yes, I would love to just like get my kids set up on like the right foot, whatever they want to do. So like, let's say we have 3 kids. Let's say two want to go to college and the other one doesn't. They just have a different desire. Maybe they want to be an artist, like he said. Then yeah, we're not going to just send the other 2 off and pay for whatever they're doing. And then the other one is like, no, sorry, you can't have our blessing. Like you can't have the money. So yeah, I would say still give it to them. Maybe one of our kids is like me and doesn't want to go to school, but maybe the money we save could be like a down payment on a house or something, you know? So I would, yeah, if the money's for them, it's for them. And yeah, I would. I'm nervous about the pool thing too. I just saw another comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let my fears scare you guys though. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go back? My hubby is a 6 and I'm a 4. Your hubby's paranoid like me.
Maybe, yeah. That'd be interesting to hear. I've never really understood how those pairings, like I know they share, like we're talking about Enneagrams.
Yeah,
guys.
Enneagrams, you answer a ton of questions, and it's been so long since I talked about Enneagrams, but I know like we're witty. We're like timely. I'm the most timely person you will ever meet in your life. He's not. I'm just kidding.
No,
You're on time sometimes.
I'm not.
And then I don't know, I wish I could remember what all of them were, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Scroll up.
Let's see. All right. Well, we'll hold on for a second if you guys have any other questions.
What was the other? It said something about advice. Generous parents.
Let's see. I'm not sure.
They're getting the app. Aldi changed the game for me. Aldi is where I've been doing most of our grocery shopping. When I go into Aldi, I feel like I'm rich. I'm like, I don't even look at prices because they're so cheap. Like, really, sorry to let you know that. But yeah, I literally just like throw stuff in the cart and I'm like, yeah. And then I get up there and the most I've ever had was like $120. And then someone just said something about the 5 love languages. Yes, I don't know what you just said. Can you go back? But we have done it. We are very familiar with it. Acts of service. I've read the book and I've done the quiz. Yes. Acts of service is my primary love language, and it's how I receive and it's how I give love. Yes, we are very loyal. And then yours, what were they again?
Physical touch.
I mean, I know what his are, but he had like 2. So it was like words of affirmation, physical touch, but then you did it again. Your love language can change based on the season you're in life. Yeah. Because for a long time, gifts were like my lowest love language. Like I didn't care about giving or receiving gifts. And then all of a sudden, something happened and now gifts is like number 2. Like when he brings me a gift, I'm like, but you really thought about me? That was so intentional and so sweet. And it's also kind of an act of service. So, right? Getting me a gift. But yes, I think that if you have not done your love language quiz, you should do it because everyone gives and receives love differently. So for a long time, I was so frustrated, and we've like talked about this in marriage counseling and stuff, but I would do a lot of stuff around the house. Like I would clean, I would cook, I would just, I would do his laundry and I'll have everything. I would like organize his sock drawer as like an act of love, and I'd be so excited to show him because I'm like, I just loved on him so well. And then he was like, oh, this is cool. And I would be so hurt. I'm like, I spent my whole day matching socks and making the house look beautiful and waiting for you to come home. And it doesn't matter to you? I'm like, if someone did this for me, I would faint, So, so then I realized like, for him, it's like he doesn't care about that stuff. It doesn't get through to him. Like for him, I love how in your videos you share your faith in God. Yes. Like for him, it's just like physical touch. So like even like a nice hug would be better for him than matching his socks for him. I'm just giving like a little example. Meanwhile, for me, like he shared recently, I don't know, I think on a YouTube video, like he cleaned the house like one day, or like one day I went to just walk at the park, and when I came home, he had mopped. That was like a couple months ago. Anyways, just when he does random stuff like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so loved, you know? Versus if he were to do anything else, like tell me all of these amazing things. I'm not really good at taking compliments, but if you were to tell me all these amazing things, like it doesn't get through to me. That specifically. Anyways, if you know your love language, you will know how to receive love better and how to explain and communicate that to someone else, and then you can love on them that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone said about our faith, we are Christians. Yeah. You're staring at me. Can you go to the comments again? I don't know how to do it. Okay, click there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we read the love language book. And she said something about the kids one. So I looked that up, the love language for kids. From what I gathered, the kids have to be the one to fill it out, right? Like, because when I read it, it was like, you prefer... I don't know. I looked it up when my daughter was little. And I don't know if, like, the parent fills it out or if the kid fills it out. But if the kid is the one who's supposed to answer the questions, our kids are not.
No, but I feel like we know our what our kids' love languages are.
Yeah, we can really, like, Zion, our 2-year-old, physical touch. All the way. Mila, words of affirmation. It's like, you see it all over them.
And then gifts.
Both of them gifts. They love gifts.
Yeah.
But
Legend?
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Legend, affection.
Legend is so sweet.
Our kids' names are Mila, Zion, and Legend. So,
yeah.
in case you didn't know.
And we made a video announcing his name, Legend. That was our first YouTube video. So,
What was it?
shout out to you guys who have been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
That was our first one. That was last April. Crazy, right? We've got some exciting videos, though, coming soon. One will be a morning routine that will go along with the Minimal Moms playlist that's coming out in May. And a few other videos. We've got a few other videos coming out this month that we're really excited about, that we really know is gonna, speak to like minimalism, finding ways to, have a little bit more peace in your home when it comes to the state of your home. How do you, like, a lot of you guys ask, like, what's next? Like, I decluttered, and there's always ways to tweak and make your experience a little bit better. But some of you guys may have seen us or found us from one of the playlists, the Organized Home Tour, the Clean With Me. So there is another one coming out that will be about morning routines. And we want to share how our morning routine is with 3 kids.
And it's
very different.
It's definitely changed. Someone just asked how we found our kids' name. I'm going to answer this really quick.
Okay.
Our daughter Mila, her name came about because of Mila Kunis. Not because of her, but I think we were watching a movie, and then she was in the movie, and then I remember thinking about her name, and then I was like, I like that name, Mila. And then it's not like we're a fan of Mila Kunis or anything like that, but it's just we really like that name. Zion, he wanted to name his son Zion since he was like a teenager. He said he was going to name his first son Zion, and I just said, okay, I was fine with it. And then Legend was the cooler story. So my grandparents are foster parents still till today. I mentioned that earlier. My dad is also a foster parent. And one of the kids that they were fostering a couple years ago, I think after we had Mila, I can't remember.
No, we didn't have any kids.
We had no kids? Well, it was a long time ago. She was fostering a little boy, and he was like the coolest little kid. And when we asked what his name was, he said he was Legend. And we were like, what? Your name is Legend? And then we didn't believe it. We even asked, and then they were like, yes, his name is Legend. And then we kind of just like put that name in our pocket, like, I like that name. I think we might use that name. And then we sure did. We made sure he got his Zion that he wanted his whole life. And then we said second baby boy is going to be Legend because of that kid. And I wish we could find that kid and tell him, like, you inspired us.
Yeah. And he had light eyes.
And he was the
everything.
coolest kid ever, this boy. So yeah, he inspired that name. And that was it.
Yeah.
I have a name for baby number 4 picked out already. We're not having a baby number 4 unless we adopt, but I even said, like, oh, if we don't have another baby, I'll just name a cat this name. It starts with an A, but I'm just never gonna tell anyone.
A.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is a cool name.
If one of my siblings has a kid, maybe I'll tell. They don't. I don't think they like our name choices very much.
Yeah.
They're like, Legend. My sister was like, that's very Kardashian of you to name your son Legend.
Well.
Go to the last comment that was just there.
Your kids' names are Veda and Baron. That's a really cool name.
Yeah.
She said, so if Zion's type is physical touch, you 100% avoid spanking. That would be soul crushing.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oh my gosh. Okay, I try to. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's the funniest comment ever. I do not spank my kids. I don't do it. That's just no. Should we even like touch on that?
I mean, that's one of the things that you mentioned, like just...
Yeah, it's like I respect what anyone wants to do. So just like a little background, I started with gentle parenting with my kids when my daughter was born. And I got so into it, and I read books, and I listened to podcasts, and I like really researched, and I was so into it. And everything was going great with gentle parenting. Everything was just so good. And then my son was born, and then he was like 1 year old, and he just threw everything off. Like, he was having tantrums. He was doing a lot of things that we didn't know how to handle. And we were just like, oh my goodness, gentle parenting, I don't think it's working. And we got so flustered, especially me. I was like, I don't know what to do. So then I started to just like second guess all my choices. And I was like, because, you know, gentle parenting has become really big, and I think it's very beneficial. But, you know, it's like, that's not how we were raised. So it was a little bit confusing for me, because I thought, oh no, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm wrong or whatever. So long story short, I thought, and stick around so I can explain. I thought, okay, maybe I need to spank, right? Because someone had told me like, oh, if you don't do that, then they're going to disrespect you. They're going to walk all over you. So I started to get confused. And then as like a first-time mom, it's like people give you tons of advice, and it's like you don't even know which way to go, and you get confused, and you don't know, you know what I mean? And it's like parents that you respect and parents who have great kids. So you're like, maybe I need to do it this way, and maybe I am wrong. So I got very confused, and then I thought, okay, we need to spank. So then we did for a few months. And when I say it, I mean like a tap. Like I just like, I don't know. So I always felt like I really want to do gentle parenting. Then I did that, and it just didn't sit well with me. Like, it made me sad to do it. And long story short, I just told my husband one day, I said, this isn't for me. This is just, we all have our own convictions and stuff like that, you know, and I'm trying to be very like careful with how I word this, but like, I feel like everyone can parent how they want to, and it's everyone's obligation. Like, it's your child, and you know what's best for you and your child. And I knew that that wasn't what was best for me, and I knew that it made me feel sick. Like, it just didn't sit well, you know? So I felt like I had to stop listening to what everyone else wanted me to do, and I had to stick with what I felt was right for me. And so we went back to gentle parenting. So I I think when I finally told him and he listened to me and he was like, okay, like he was like, okay, we'll go back to gentle parenting. I think that was when I was like, okay, I feel good again. Um, my kids, the older ones, are both speech delayed, so they're both in speech therapy, and a lot of my son's tantrums would come from a place of just him not being able to communicate with me. So gentle parenting, like talking to him and, just trying to communicate better with him has been like key to all of this. So when someone just commented and said my son's love language is physical touch, so yeah, it was a fun, it made me laugh, but I never thought of it that way. Right? Yeah. Like we're going to probably get off of here and talk about that because that's just so like, wow, that's kind of mind-blowing. But anyways, yeah. I think everyone can parent how they want, and I don't judge you at all. Mm-hmm. Is that all?
Yeah, this was really...
Yeah, this was longer than we expected.
But this was really good. And let us know if you want us to do more stuff like this. Go live and answer questions about minimalism, life, parenting, our own personal lives, what she's going through, what I'm going through. And again, we have some exciting stuff coming out, some exciting videos that we're really, I don't know, we were talking about some of it today, and I don't know, I think we're really... There'll be hopefully they'll really resonate with you and connect with you. Yeah. So as we always say, stay minimal, our friends, and we will see you guys very soon.
Thank you so much for all of you who came and stayed, or even were here for 5 minutes. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, even after 2 hours. See you guys. Bye. All right.